Suppose tomorrow you were in an accident and lost the use of half of your body. How would you deal with it? Madam President, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, this is what happened to me in 1998. One day I was working, ballroom dancing, having fun, married, I had 2 beautiful kids, and within just a few months, actually, all of a sudden, I was paraplegic. I have no use of my body from here down. How did I deal with that? And what I did with that is the subject of my speech. There are many ways that you can look at life, and there are many things that you can do about what happens to you. So let's talk about some of those. There is a philosophy, not DIN, but do it now. And that means that while you are going through life, are you doing the things that you want to do right now? Because at any moment, you never know what's going to happen. For me, it was a brain tumor out of nowhere. I had no signs, nothing. Could be in a car accident tomorrow. And whatever happens, are you going to keep moving forward? Are you going to continue with your life the way you've done it? And how do you deal with that? Well, one way you can deal with it is with a PMA, a positive mental attitude. This phrase was first coined in 1937 by a man called Napoleon Hill in a book called Think and Grow Rich. Actually, he didn't actually use the phrase PMA in the book, but he alluded to it and actually coined the phrase in his next book. The point is, what is PMA and how does it apply? Positive mental attitude simply means that if you're given lemons, you make lemonade. Is the glass full? Yes. It's never empty. It's never half empty. It's always half full. Whatever hits you, you just come right back. You just hit right back. Life is what you make it. And that's what I did. I was down for a while. Took me a couple years to get used to my new body. But then I started taking on things. I started learning about my new life, about how to deal with things. I had to learn how to move. Well, I move with a wheelchair. Walking is overrated. People say, oh, don't you want to walk? I could care less. I still get around, I just roll. There are other things that are more important to me. However, I did have to learn these new things. I had to learn how to deal with my emotions. I had to learn how to deal with my children. My son was 6 at the time I was injured. He was angry at me for the next 12 years. He was angry at me because he's a kid, and he saw that I was his dad and could no longer throw the ball. I couldn't teach him how to ride the bike anymore. Well, I ride bikes with him because he already knew. And so he was angry at me. I had to learn how to deal with that. And that's the kind of thing that a PMA helps with. I overcame the grief that I went through, the anger, the depression, and I came out with a very strong PMA. And I started doing things. And these are the kind of things that a lot of people that I know who become injured in some way, it doesn't have to be a spinal cord injury, it could be something else, don't do. And a lot of it has to do with their attitude. Attitude is everything. You might have heard that. It's the same thing. If you are injured tomorrow, if you are disabled in some way tomorrow, will you have already done it now, what you wanted to do, and will you be able to proceed with a PMA? Hopefully yes, because always you want to KMF, which is keep moving forward. After I was injured, I decided that I would participate in some sporting activities that I had never done before. So I started doing 5Ks. I'd never been in races before. Before I was injured, I danced, I was a ballroom dancer, I did swing dancing, I did personal sports, I swam a lot, I was in the gym, but I had never participated in a 5K, and I said, okay, let's see what it's like. So I rolled a 5K, and I liked it so much, I didn't do it to win, I just did it to do it. I liked it so much, I did 15 of them in the next 5 years. As I was doing those during this time, I also found out that I could get braces that would lock up my knees and lock up my hips and allow me to stand up, be vertical, and with forearm crutches, I could walk. Now, I walked stiff-legged. I mean, by moving my hips forward, I would actually, I didn't bend at the knees, what I'm saying. And the point is, I was able to stand up and walk, even though it's overrated. It's good for my health to stand up and walk. It is for anybody's. The point is, I did that. And what I did, just for fun, is at the end of the 5Ks, I would stand up and walk the last 200 feet to cross the finish line. When I got to the finish line, I took my forearm crutches, I threw them up as a victory V. I have video of this. It's awesome. And it's just part of being alive. So I hope that this has helped give you some ideas. And what I did is people kept telling me, you've got an interesting story. You should write about it. So I did. And I wrote a book called 6 Days, The Events That Transformed My Life. And this just chronicles what I've been through and some of my philosophies and some of the attitudes that I hold dear. So the point is, if something happens to you, are you going to do it? Have you already done it now, or are you going to do it now? Or if you didn't already do it, will you do it later? I'll give you one example. I've always wondered what it was like to ski. I had never been water skiing. So this summer, I went water skiing. It's an adapted water ski, special contraption that I get in, and the boat takes off, and I'm in the water, and it lifts me up, and I'm on skis, and I'm holding on to the ski poles, and I'm sitting, but I'm skiing. A couple winters ago, I went skiing in the snow. How do you ski in the snow? Can't stand up. There's a sled. I transfer into the sled, feet are up in front of me, I'm on a ski, I have 2 poles. At the bottom of each pole is a little tiny miniature ski. And so as I'm going down the hill, I'm just leaning and turning the little skis, and I'm skiing. Lemonade. The point of all this is, are you going to take advantage of whatever it is that life throws at you? One thing to remember is this, and I'll conclude with this. The point of life is not to stay young. You hear all the commercials, oh, look young, stay young, dye your hair, look young. It's the most important thing because people judge you by how you look. It's not what you are. It's who you are. And the point of life isn't to stay young. The point of life is, can you get old? If you can get old, you've done the right thing. You've stayed healthy, you've taken an active part in life, you've done the things you've wanted, whether you've done them by sitting down and skiing or standing up, whether you can do 5Ks or go to the gym. I go to the gym 3 days a week and I swim twice a week. I bet a lot of people in this room don't even do that much exercise. I eat really, really well. I want to get old. Whether I'm walking or not, irrelevant. So, if you're interested, I do have my book available, if you're interested in looking at it. But the key take-home message tonight is to be active, take a part in life, keep a positive mental attitude, and keep moving forward. And I'm Toastmaster.